We're live.
I
We just hit live. Thank you.
Good
morning.
Good morning.
Can you cue up the music?
Are you going to do a dance?
Enjoy the show.
I thought I was going to hear da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, right. Come in dancing, doing the albatross dance. We started to do.
Ba-da-da-da-da.
Morning.
So good morning. We are so fortunate today because we have Street Hearts Animal Rescue. I know that a lot of you bought the cinnamon holiday blend. When you bought the cinnamon holiday blend, it automatically donated money
Or donated
to them, or donated extra, which we really appreciate it. Animals are really close to our hearts. We actually have a few dogs in the office, a lot, often. And so we're just going to introduce ourselves really quick.
I'm Carrie.
I'm Amanda. I'm Lori.
Britton.
I'm Linda.
And Bill.
And so we brought the Street Hearts crew here, and I've got to say, I don't know that I've ever seen just people tirelessly, like, I don't know when these people sleep, because I see the page, and just watching their page exhausts me. Because, and I get it, it's like when an animal's in need, what do you do? But I want Bill to just tell you a little bit about the organization and what their purpose is.
Our purpose, as you get down to it, and the federal government allows us to exist because we are here to help try fill a niche that's needed when a local government agency is not able to fill a lot of the things that they want to do, get them done, because, as you know, everybody's short on people anymore. They can't get certain things done. We exist to try to help the animal shelter, the animal control in this county, with stray animals or injured animals, rehoming of animals. So that's what we try to do. We help animals that are loose out on the street, animals that have been injured.
And we are near Flint, so we've got a lot of animals and a lot of pits, which my kids have pits and I love them. I'm a little scared of dogs, honestly, and they're one of some of the sweetest dogs. But it is kind of intimidating when you're out and they've got a big bark and, you know, they're a little intimidating. So.
Yeah. What has happened there with COVID, it had a big influence on animal rescue in this country. A lot of people were out of work, and a lot of people saw the opportunity to make money breeding dogs and selling puppies. And it's resulted in a glut of dogs that a lot of people don't know what to do with. And there's a lot of people that... right now, the shelters are full, the rescues are full, and they're being told they can't take their dogs, and there are people just letting their dogs out the door and letting them loose or dropping them off somewhere, and it's creating a lot of issues.
Well, and you guys just rescued a dog, I think. I mean, these dogs, and other animals, but predominantly dogs, are literally starving on the streets. I mean, I see pictures of them, and I can't imagine these poor animals, what they're thinking.
Yesterday, Amanda went out on a call with another lady, and there was a report of a small dog under a bridge overpass shaking and curled into the corner. So they went out and checked it out, and it ended up being 2 adult female pit bulls, and they're starving. There's nowhere, we couldn't pick them up because we don't have anywhere for them to go. So we're making arrangements on the rescue page, and I got volunteers this morning, by the way, for people to at least feed them twice a day and keep them alive until we can get somewhere for them to go. That's how bad it is.
You're desperate, so it's desperate circumstances, for sure.
And that's the biggest need that the rescue and the shelter has right now, our foster homes. The animal control is going to be changing a little bit of the philosophy. I'm going to let a little cat out of the bag, but they're going to turn more and more to foster homes.
Okay.
Instead of keeping animals, dogs in the building, they're going to be trying to get more foster homes, more dogs out of the building. That place is set up right now for 80 dogs by the Department of Agriculture standards. 80 dogs is supposed to be their max. They have 180 dogs there right now.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's well, and then just the socialization part, because once they lose that, I'm sure it's hard to integrate.
You get
later.
180 barking, excited dogs, and it doesn't lead to good interaction.
No.
So,
And I'm always
Well, then if you
shocked
get
too when you
sick,
see the
it's
lost
like
dogs, how
wildfire.
different, especially,
Yes.
you know, I've got a little Shih Tzu, but
Oh, I didn't know
so
that.
these lost dogs can look so different, like really quickly within days.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't even look
Yep.
like your dog.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
that's why we tell people don't trust the photo. Go get your eyeballs on that.
And obviously getting chipped, you know, getting your animals
Right.
chipped is great.
That's awesome.
I just saw a thing and it was 2016. A dog went missing and just got reunited.
Was that the German Shepherd?
Yes.
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 Crazy.
Because he was microchipped.
Yeah.
Yes. Can you? I can't even imagine. And now you had this young puppy, and now you've got this older dog. I mean, what a different dynamic.
Bill,
But
that's really cool.
what did Bill
So
say?
he
I
says,
can't
I'm
read
part
it.
of a rescue in New Jersey, and I know what you guys go through, but it's all about the dogs and animals. Thank you for doing what you do.
But we appreciate. We should probably put a link
Oh, is
to
there-
to donate, or can we do that?
Are you reading that on the screen? there?
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
can go to Street
Oh, off
Hearts,
to the
the
right.
website, and donate.
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, so our donations have ended, but if you go to Street Hearts Animal
Is it
Rescue, you
Street
can
Hearts
donate.
Animal Rescue?
Yes, it is.
Patty posted the link
Oh,
for you.
perfect.
That's
Right
our
there.
that's our public page. That was basically started because it was a requirement of the IRS that we have a internet presence and be able
Yeah.
to show them.
When you guys
Well, yeah.
are a 5013 C3,
C3.
501c3.
which is really nice
Yeah.
too. But I will say, I mean, I can't. You guys, I mean, I feel like you guys are like 24/7.
We are.
Pretty much.
Until we run out of steam.
I know I saw that it's like let Bill sleep for a day,
Yeah.
24 hours, because it's got to be so difficult when you know an animal's in need, but you're tired, your family needs you, have these other obligations. I can't even imagine what you guys
You know what?
go through
The
prioritizing.
most wearing thing is not the lack of sleep. The most wearing thing is anybody, Sheriff Swanson, Chief of Police, person that runs a company, the most wearing thing is the constant psychological assault.
Yes.
Not only from worrying about the animals, but you get a lot of Facebook negativity.
Yeah, I think it's the
can't-
keyboard warriors,
you
right?
can't-
Yeah,
you
you try to
can't-
do good. Good is always criticized, right?
It's never good enough.
It's never
Yeah,
good enough.
right.
Or intentions are given to you guys. I mean, I've seen some intentions are given to you that don't exist. I mean, we
Right.
are. I mean, I am 100% heart in with you guys. That you guys hearts are in the right place. And we wouldn't support anybody that wasn't. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a
We are
judgment
thankful.
call, just like other things. It can be tough.
know,
What do you do?
There's things that we do that aren't drawing a lot of attention to. You know, you think about the 82-year-old lady that lives by herself and has her 16-year-old 100-pound dog that's suddenly gone downhill, and she's living on that much each month, and so it happened yesterday. The lady gets a hold of me, and her dog is having seizures, needs to be euthanized. She has no way to physically get the dog into a car.
Yeah.
She asked me if there was a house call vet that would come. I said, well, if they come and do that, what are you going to do with your pup afterwards? Do you have somebody that can bury your dog? What about cremation? She can't afford to cremate the dog. She doesn't have anybody to bury the dog. So we put out a call for volunteers. Is there somebody who can help transport this lady and her dog, then maybe bury the dog in her yard? And we had some people step up. But those are things that, you know, when you're a pet owner or you're helping people that have pets, there's a lot of things you don't think about.
No.
Right.
So
Right. Well, and your pet is your child. Dude, I mean, pets are so important to us. And I can't imagine being in that situation and not being able to feed your pet
Well, they're
or
supposed to be
physically
important
take
to
care
you,
of it.
but
They're
they're
not
not
always. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure you guys see the
There's a full
heartlessness.
spectrum.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
From one end to the other.
Well,
Yeah.
the lack of even regard for human life to me is
Yeah.
astounding right now. So I can't even imagine for animal life. I'm sure it's even more prevalent. I know that they did call me. Somebody called me and they're like, "Hey, I see you're getting involved. Would you go pick a cat up on the side of the road?" And the reality is, I'm scared to death of animals. Like, I will never rescue a a dog or a cat on the side of the road, but I will market, I will fundraise, I will do whatever I can. I will look for lost
Like
dogs.
we posted the dog
I'll
out
make
there
you
the other day.
posters. I'll do whatever you want, but I am never going to
and we
approach
can't do
a
what we
stray
do
animal.
without people like you, so
So,
you're filling
right.
that need right
I
there.
just laughed. They just laughed. They were like, okay. Because even at your puppy class,
Well, I'm scared of dogs too,
Yeah.
except for my own dogs.
yeah,
Like,
I like dogs I know.
or we have chickens, and it's like I like my chickens, but I don't like anybody else's chickens. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
have
when
to
I
be
go to
very
someone's
comfortable.
house, if their dog's outside, I call them and say, hey, could you come?
Yeah.
Or it's just Joe Biden.
So, maybe.
You know, one night we got a call, and it was right down the road from animal control, of a large pig. So we went over there.
Oh, boy.
We had about 15, 20 people there, and people stopping by. I'll take that pig. They already had the barbecue grill fired
Yeah.
up. you
Oh,
know.
my goodness.
So if anybody's ever tried to get a pig into an SUV,
can't
what was he,
even
around 450, 500 pounds, about 3 times her size.
Oh my
And,
And I was out there with this
if a-
pig on slip lead.
if a pig,
Oh my goodness. And they're strong. Well, there's not a good hook on them, I don't think either. Like
they'll
their
take
neck
your
just
finger
goes
right
up.
off.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Gone,
goodness.
gone.
Oh, yeah.
So was
Yeah.
it a domesticated pig or what?
No, you know what it was? If you're ever on 69, you see those animal haulers coming from Canada. They're going to the slaughterhouse.
He got out.
It was a Yorkshire pig, those big pink ones.
Yeah, he fell off.
They-
Movie.
They find a way
jumped.
to squeeze
Yeah.
out somehow, and he got
Yeah.
out on the freeway.
Oh,
And came up the hill on Pasadena.
Oh my god, right in traffic, probably.
He had a twine around his ankle. I got there, I get out of the van, I've got scissors, I've got a slip lead because, dog rescue.
Right.
So this is what I've got.
Obviously, we rescue more than dogs.
80 pounds of you. This is good.
you need footage.
Pictures of it didn't happen.
Oh, there's pictures. Yeah, there's pig pictures.
Oh
So
my God.
I step out of my van and there's 3 police cruisers there, and 4 of the officers looked at me and said, "Okay, you've got this, right?" And I went,
You're like, am I animal control?
"Sure,
Okay.
sure." So yeah, that's how we.
So where did the pig go? Like, what did you do with the pig?
He
Went to a
through-
sanctuary.
Yeah, he's at a
He's
sanctuary.
down in Holly at the Devoted Barn, and
Yep.
she sends me pictures. He's got his own playpen,
Living
big
his
pen.
best
He
life.
With a,
He escaped. This is a movie right
there's
here.
a sign there. His name, I can't remember what his name is, but he's got a sign there. It's like Charlotte's Web. You
I was
know.
gonna say Wilbur. He should be Wilbur or something.
So if you guys are out and about and you see a pig, just
Call Bill.
Call Bill.
I've done this. I've done this before. I got it. No
And
problem.
speaking of chickens, we rescued chickens before.
We
And
rescued
Big-
chickens.
big-
Oh yeah.
Snakes.
Chickens will get pretty far.
Goats.
There was a snake one time on the east side of Flint, and a guy called me and he said, "There's a big snake in the cat carrier on my porch, and I can't find my cat."
Oh,
He ate the cat.
yeah.
He did.
Our neighbor did this to us before. He said, "Hey, I know you have small children. I just want to let you know we haven't been able to find our snake in a while."
Oh, no.
Yeah.
He was in the rafters of the house. They eventually found him.
Bill
I'm
does
like,
all
"He's
the
gonna eat my
snakes.
small children."
Yeah, he was a
This is not
big
big.
snake.
He was like a
Really big snake.
Reticulated python or
I was
something.
just gonna say,
Yeah.
or one of those boa constrictors.
That's
don't
what
they?
it was.
like a boa.
Yeah.
No.
The pythons get bigger than the boas.
What a great pet.
I was also
Yeah.
bored.
No.
It was a really big snake.
yeah.
We've caught sheep, emus,
Goats.
big tortoise, like
Oh yeah.
Really?
huge, and they crawl about this fast, so it makes you wonder how they escape.
How did you get away?
Probably that big pig fitting through the.
We had the one
railing.
house that had a
I
turkey,
could do it.
chicken, goats.
Goats.
Yeah, in the house,
In the house?
in the house.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, it's
Oh, how
amazing
many
some
dogs
people
or
love-
animals can be in a house? That would
Well, there
be.
are 3.
Well, I
Three.
bet how many of you guys found
Your
in
limit
houses?
is
Oh,
there.
in houses.
Yeah,
Well,
Well, vacant houses.
The one had 9.
9.
The 9
Oh.
kenneled.
I remember seeing some pictures of one, and they were just in such.
So is there
filthy
like a legal
things.
limit
It depends. It depends on what community
Right.
you're
Yeah,
in.
it was
Oh,
like-
okay.
The only community in Genesee County where there's no limit on the dogs or cats is Argentine.
What
Okay.
about that guy that called you that about was it puppies? They
Oh,
had the 25.
Okay.
His brother had tell them that story.
all right. So, in the city of Flint, like any other city, you have ordinances.
Yeah.
And one of the ordinances regarding kennels, in order to have a kennel in the city of Flint, you have to be in Zone D, which is commercial. It has to be alongside the freeway corridors, and there can't be a domicile, a house within, I forget how many
Probably because
feet.
of noises and
Barking
yeah,
and
right.
feces,
Yeah.
you know, children.
Okay.
So there is no kennel license issued for anybody in the city of Flint. There isn't one that exists. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So if you go on Facebook and you start searching, you will see there's around 30, 40 different guys that advertise on Facebook that they have a kennel. And I could
None
say
of
some
them are
names, but I
legal.
won't. But
None of them are legal.
they're not legal. They don't get inspected.
Oh, wow.
If the puppies get vaccines, they'll get one from one of the stores you can purchase and vaccinate the dog
And it's the
themselves.
city of Flint, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Just
right.
Yeah.
Now, animal control does do inspections on kennels outside the city. They're required to have an annual inspection, and there's a number of reasons for it other than revenue. There's legitimate reasons. So these guys, the guy gets a hold of me. It was about 10 days ago, and he said my brother is being evicted from his house, or the bank is taking over his house, and we need help with his dogs. And I said, how many dogs does he have? And there's a big spider.
Oh, that is a big spider.
I get it.
Oh my
I'm not
God.
scared of it.
And
I'm scared of animals, but not
They don't.
spiders.
Spiders don't bother me. Snake.
Okay.
so he said,
Yeah, we get the
my
big
brother has 25 dogs at his house. He said at his kennel. That's what he said. And I said, where's his kennel? He said, at his house. And I'm just picturing it, what it might look like. And I said, and how many need to be rehomed? And he said, 5 of them are going to, the oldest dogs are going to family, and the rest of them are all puppies, and they need to be rehomed. So, okay. And he says, I said, do you have any dogs? And he said, I have 20 dogs at my house. Between two guys, we're talking about almost 50 dogs.
Oh,
Right? So it's not like a litter of cats. You can put a litter of cats together. It gets harder, especially when you get bigger dogs that a lot of people are afraid of. Okay, so I'm thinking immediately, where are these dogs going to go?
Yeah.
Where are they going to go? And animal control's full, and
Well, that's a lot of dogs.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of
Does it
dogs.
help that they're puppies at least, or no?
You
they were.
can.
He said they were all
Okay.
under 6 months, so they might have
Okay.
ranged
Over
in
6
age.
months,
But
okay.
you know, you got to think that a lot of them probably have diarrhea. They have worms.
Yeah.
You know, they're screaming. They chew up your stuff. I mean, I can go on and on about the
Well, they
differences.
they haven't been properly trained or
Vetted.
house trained or gotten
I'd
medical
prefer to
care
take
they
a
need.
4-year-old, calm, settled dog.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
I give a lot of credit to all the women in the rescue that, that raise children. They're more suited to puppies.
It is a little crazy. Do you guys have like an Amazon
Puppies are
wish
hard.
list?
Yeah.
We do.
You
I don't.
We do.
So
My
is
husband
it on your
does.
website?
God
Is
bless
your or where's your Amazon wish list? Where could people find that if they wanted to purchase stuff off of that?
You know, we can share the link of that,
Yeah, we can put
Yeah.
it on our page too.
but I don't know how to
Access.
tell people to go find it.
Sure,
Yeah,
right. Yeah, no, if we
I
can
don't
just
know
get
if
a
they can
link.
search
Because I
that.
think it's sometimes feels a little more personal
Right.
to buy you stuff that you need. I
Yeah.
would. I mean, I'm thinking about now if you had an Amazon, I'd just go on there every month and buy
For
you some
puppy
stuff.
food or
Yeah, but
whatever.
I'd like to buy you what you need.
Yeah.
And I get money's the best because a lot of it is medical bills
Yes.
and travel and other things, but it kind of feels a
Yeah,
little
I'm
more
not sure if you can just go to
personal
Amazon and put in, I think you might be able to put
Okay.
in a charity name
Yes.
Okay.
and look it up that way maybe.
And you can, I know you
I'm
can
not sure.
donate money through that, through
Amazon's
Amazon's Smiles.
you see that-
purchase
They
that
just-
goes towards
just
you
They
guys?
did continue
They
that.
See the
did.
little
Yep.
yellow circle? That's our public page.
Uh-huh.
If you
It's
go
on
on there is a donate button,
Okay.
and and it's a charitable contribution.
Sure. So it's tax.
So when did
deductible.
Amazon Smile stop that?
I think
Last month, or
we
beginning
just
of
got
February.
the last
You-
donation. I think.
Okay, because it used to pop up and say you donated, and you're right,
Yeah.
it hasn't done
Yeah, a
that.
lot of these,
They just ended it this year.
these things are ending.
Oh,
VG's has ended.
Yep.
Amazon
Very
Smiles has ended.
okay.
So that's
Which is
another
very
hit.
disappointing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, 'cause that's just
Kroger, I
another-
think is still ongoing, and we get donations through them that people use their rewards card for, and they chose us as their for
Okay.
their
really
rewards
cool.
to be donated to us.
Okay.
You know, I want to touch on something that's really important. There's been a evolution of animal care in the world, and specifically this country. We tend to be in this country, and maybe England and a couple other countries, in tune to our domestic animals. We cater to them, we baby them, we spend an awful lot of money as human beings on our animals.
My little bunny outfit.
We all get silly, don't we? So, and every one of us has a dog or a cat that has 4 or 5 names, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
I mean, my Sam was Sammy Lambie. I mean, I could go on.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I'm getting at is, just because the dog is in the animal shelter doesn't mean it's the same dog that would love you in your home. You're just looking at, they're in a bad situation where they're crammed into a building and they're all scared. I really, really encourage you to go to the local animal shelter and help them out. The shelter here in Genesee County, I've watched over the last 10 years, there's just been a steady progression from really awful to becoming really good. And the new director there, he's been there just over a year. There's a combination of the new director and the new sheriff that have brought a lot of good positive change into this county for animals, and it's getting better, and there are plans in the works that are going to make it even better. So I really like to see you folks. We need fosters.
So you're
And-
saying,
And so- and-
fostering is
Well-
the best way to, first of all, find a dog that might fit in your home.
Right.
And because we're in Genesee County or living it's in Michigan, so that's kind of just where our reference. And I'm sure that in New York counties, or
Yeah.
that there's very similar
There's a need
situations.
all
I mean,
across
it's
the
all
country.
across the country.
It's out of control.
Yeah, just like Bill said, he helps out in his.
Yeah.
We've never had so many people that have come to us wanting to surrender their dogs.
Yes.
Every
At this
day.
time.
Every day.
All the time.
It's
Purebred
That's just
dogs.
crazy.
You know, I was really disappointed, and this is years ago, but my mom went to go adopt a dog at a shelter, and they told her she was too old.
That was
And-
adopt a pet.
And it was an adopted
It was
pet.
adopted.
And she was 60. Or I'm like, well, this is a great person that's home all day, every day. And so she went out and bought a dog.
That happens, and it might depend on who they're dealing with.
We
at
got,
the shelter.
denied
So-
several times because we don't have a fence. And like, we live on
I just
5
was gonna say
acres
that's
and a
another
farm.
requirement.
So maybe that would be
Yeah.
something to consider too, is just
So we went and bought
making
a
a
dog.
common sense evaluations in some of
We
these.
deal with it
Yeah.
dog by dog. We have
Yeah.
some dogs that clearly have to have a fence,
Sure.
a physical fence.
Yeah.
There are other dogs we have adopted out
Yeah.
that don't have a fence yard.
Yeah.
So
It's independent cases.
yeah,
Linda, do you remember the case of that gentleman down around wherever he was, Farmington or somewhere? He was 92 years old. He went to the gym every day, and he lived in an apartment complex, and he wanted a dog that he could walk all the time. And the first thing we heard was 92 years old, you know. And so we encourage everybody, if you're going to be looking for a dog as a senior, or your parents are going to be, have a plan in place.
Yeah.
Because the big thing we're concerned about is, can they physically handle the dog? If not a big dog, they can probably
Right.
handle a little dog. They have plans in place, like at the shelter, at Animal Control, senior dogs for senior people.
Yeah.
They're going to be calmer dogs. You need to
And they
consider.
probably have more patience with them. You don't have a little kid tugging on them, you know, they're
Right.
because they're going through their own physical decline.
Right,
So
absolutely.
you have some
Right.
more compassion. I mean, that seems like a really good mix. It would.
If you go in with your parents to look at a dog, it would bode well that you have something in writing, like a will or something, of what's going to happen to Fido if something happens to mom or dad. because folks, we have people all the time, their parent or their aunt or uncle passes away, and they put the animals out the door because they're in a rush to sell the house.
Yes.
Okay, so if you go in, I mean, if you're going to spend $30,000 on a car, you have, you try not to make an emotional purchase and think through it, and you need to do the same thing with your pet.
Sure, to have a plan. Somebody just told me yesterday, I thought it was fascinating. Part of their insurance at their company is pet insurance.
Yeah.
And I thought, what
becoming
an
more common.
interesting thing to have
Yeah.
pet insurance at your company.
Because a lot of people
For
don't
your
have children
employees.
anymore. They
There's
only
companies
have
now
their-
that give sick days for your pets.
Oh, really?
Yep.
We did emergency
There's-
surgery last
Most-
week.
No, and I
so-
thought, wouldn't it be
Seriously,
a nice
I
comfort
believe
to
we're
not
doing
worry
emergency
about it?
surgery.
It's a
There
draw.
are-
It's a draw.
Yeah.
Circumstances do come up
Yeah.
and it can be very costly. $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 you need right now.
Yeah.
Yet pet insurance is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
No, I
You want to
thought-
do
I
it when they're
thought we could
young.
do it.
Don't wait till they're old.
Yeah, they don't cover anything now, and ours. I don't even know that the situation would have been covered or
It
thought
was
of.
a bad situation.
So-
Then why don't you explain the situation?
We want to hear.
It's so
In
embarrassing.
G terms.
So I have a 9-year-old boy dog,
Oh,
and I have an 8-month-old girl dog who is spayed, by the way. And my 9-year-old dog has recently taken an interest in my 8-month-old dog, a very big interest.
An
For
Amherst-
days
an
at a
Amherst
time.
pet-
And
And
Amherst
she's like
interest.
double his size. So I'm brushing my teeth in the bathroom, and my 6-year-old daughter runs in and she goes, Mom, something's wrong with Sheldon. And so I run out, and he's very excited, and his excitement would not go away. And he had to have it surgically put away.
Called me. She's like, Mom, they're telling me to like ice it down. And all that. I'm like,
sugar and ice.
4 hours they did
Yeah.
all of it, and they couldn't get
couldn't.
it.
They said it normally
Fixed.
subsides,
Right.
but it had been
It sounds
going
like
on for so long.
it sounds like you got into somebody's Viagra.
Yeah, that's what we said.
could be Duncan.
Now, is he neutered?
Yeah, both of them are completely, and that's what the vet's like, are you sure she's spayed? I'm like, you did it. Are you sure there's something?
Oh
So
my.
he's on
I do have a
strict
13-year-old,
instructions to stay away from his love interest. He finally got his cone off his head.
Oh my.
Is he acting okay?
We're having some issues still.
Phone call that morning. I'm like, what? He what?
What?
You had to what?
Well, and then the worst part is too is that I had to tell their teachers at school. I'm like, I know you're gonna hear this, so this is what happened. They've been instructed not to talk about it at school.
Sheldon is a dog.
Sheldon is my 9-year-old
What
dog.
breed is he?
He's a miniature Australian, and then our girl dog is a normal, like standard Australian. So she is already double his size. He's
Yeah.
like 20 pounds, and she's probably like 35. And he just really likes her, I guess. But he doesn't like her.
I worked for a grooming shop, and we had a dog come in, and his was out the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And
You
like,
didn't say penis.
yeah.
I don't know if Facebook
I don't
lets you say
think
that.
No,
Oh, we're all bad for a month.
we're going to jail. And so yeah, so I, had to say something to the owner. Are you aware? Like, your dog has an issue. You need to take it to the vet.
Amanda,
So I had to have surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's very common, I guess, the surgery part of
Yeah.
it. But
he was just
Usually,
excited to see you, right?
Oh, he was more than excited.
ice cubes and sugar? What?
Sugar right away, apparently. Sugar. I tried ice right away. I'm like, Googling
But it
it.
did it do anything?
Oh, no.
No, nothing.
Nothing.
Okay.
And then she called me, and how much did they say? 1 to
Oh.
3,000 or 1,000? I can't
That
remember.
low end was, one, and it was expensive.
It was.
Yeah, it was
I
more
left bawling.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
well, I guess this goes on a credit card. I'm just gonna cry myself.
But if you have pet insurance, so it just seems like it takes those things. Like, then you
Oh,
don't
wait,
get
though.
so
I don't think sometimes you still have to cover
Pay it up
that,
front.
and then they
They
like
pay you back.
reimburse
Oh,
you.
they
But
reimburse.
at least
Yeah.
it does come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
anything
Still
pre-existing,
gotta
I know
have-
they don't.
yeah,
Right.
Have an emergency fund for your dog.
yeah,
Yeah, you really do.
I
Or
just didn't plan on that one. We just paid to get the other one spayed like 2 months ago, and it was like, oh my god.
there are times that emergencies happen like that.
Yeah.
That
It's
your
crazy.
emergency fund either isn't there or it's not large enough.
Yeah.
Because
It was a
happens.
shocking and embarrassing emergency.
When it is, your heart drops. And then if you have another, like I know one of our dogs got hit by a car, and then the next week someone picked one of our other dogs up and got like kind of paralyzed for a time being, and it was a
A
lot.
little
all at
kid,
once.
little miniature dachshund.
So
a lot.
So much can happen.
when an emergency or tragedy strikes with your animal, it's a good idea. I have a lot of people call me all the time, and these are normally calm, logical people, but like a child or a dog, people get frantic. So find somebody that you can call before an emergency comes. Have it on your refrigerator or something, so everybody in the house knows who to call if there's a problem. But there are a lot of times, like just recently, there was a cat found in a yard down in what's the name of it, where she lived?
Columbiaville?
No, down one of the Detroit suburbs.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Detroit.
the cat showed up in her yard, and all the skin on his leg was down around his ankles. It had been degloved, and she was told by a vet down in near Detroit, Harper Woods, to bring the cat to an emergency vet, which she did, and they quoted her $2,400 to $3,200 to take the cat's leg off. So she got a hold of me, and I said, and I'm looking at the pictures, and I'm not a veterinarian, but when you do something long enough, you have a good sense. So I said, I just have a hard time believing that they're going to just amputate the leg. So we got a second opinion. The cat went to another vet. All the skin was healthy. It was all sewn back in place. The cat is now in her home, getting stitches out next week. $900 versus $3,200.
Well, and at least she had someone to call.
But you
But that is good in an emergency. Like, be prepared for an emergency.
Right.
Just even for kids, right? Poison control.
Right.
So that have those
it's
numbers
too late when
readily.
it happens and you're not ready.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
you kind
You're
of
frantic.
Well, and that's the
can't
thing.
think.
I talk to people all the time when their dogs are in trouble, and yet
Yeah.
mine got a blockage because she panicked when I left town. And I called Linda because in that moment, this is my dog. Suddenly I can't think.
Yes.
And Linda's like, well, you picked up the food, right? No, I didn't. And that's the first thing I would say, pick up the food and water.
Yeah.
So it's different when it's yours. And I can tell people that all day. I've been through it 1,000 times, but when it's your own,
You go into panic mode, and honestly, when you're in panic mode, 3,200, you're like, I'll figure it out. You can, but
Right.
even if you can't figure it out,
Well,
you
the
know what I
pe-
mean?
the
Because you're
people-
not thinking logically, and people will
You
take
aren't.
advantage of people in those
The
situations.
people that
I
live on
imagine.
$800 a month don't
No,
have
no, they don't have it. No,
But they have that convenient little credit card at the desk, right? And they're gonna open something and just make it
and
worse.
then when they can't figure it out, then
well,
it
they're gonna
becomes
make
your
it
guys'
worse. They're
problem.
gonna make the situation
Yeah.
so much worse.
yeah.
So no, and obviously, I'm probably fixing spading your animals if you're not planning.
Yes.
Especially if we're
Don't
already
plan.
on too many.
Yeah, we don't need, really, we need about 6 years of no breeding so we can just,
It's one of the most important things.
Kinda catch
Spay,
up.
Neuter.
Yeah.
Well, not only does it keep animals from reproducing, but it also keeps them healthier. They don't
Right.
end up, as in the case of female dogs, they don't end up with a prolapsed uterus,
Pyometra.
pyometra,
Breast
both
cancer.
things that will kill your dog. In the case of male dogs, they end up with testicular or prostate cancer. So it's cheaper in the long run and less mentally stressful for you to properly take care of your
Do
dog.
you guys have resources on your website on like the benefits of it and kind of like when to do it, like timing?
Your FAQs.
Well, at the top of we have a rescue page, which is a
Yeah, we
closed page.
posted it on Facebook.
Yeah, our
On
emergency
Facebook.
page.
So if you look on Facebook,
You have to ask to join the page.
okay.
So at the top, there's a thing there. It's called files, and if you click on that, I don't know exactly what we have posted in
Okay.
there, but there's useful information in there.
Okay.
And obviously getting your dogs their shots and
Yes.
the heartworm. I mean, that can,
the heartworm.
what is the purveyor, what is that dogs get? That is
Parvo.
Parvo.
Yes,
Yeah.
Parvo is terrible, lepto is
Vaccinations
terrible.
and heartworm prevention.
And those things can be prevented,
Yeah.
right?
is
Same
cheap compared to the outcome
Yeah.
if dog gets parvo or heartworm disease.
And I went to my vet for my personal dog, and he said he was arguing with the lady there that brought her dog in that she needed to put the dog on heartworm medicine, and she said, "Oh, we don't have heartworms in Michigan." And so
Oh,
I just rolled my eyes and let it go, because I'm not going to sit here and argue with her, you know.
Well, people
Well,
get confused on what's what. Heartworm, they're thinking
Yeah.
like a liver fluke or something. I don't
Well,
know.
a lot of people don't even know how it's acquired, you know.
Right.
It's acquired by the infected mosquito.
Oh.
Um,
And mosquitoes are everywhere, so we have
Yeah.
mosquitoes in
Yes.
Michigan.
Yes.
I mean,
and
Yeah.
you know, so they get infected, and the larvae goes through the blood, develops into these huge worms that clog up the heart and make the dog go into heart failure.
And we're finding more and more dogs that are coming in that are heartworm positive.
well, and I'll tell on myself, you know, because I had 2 little miniature dachshunds. They were inside dogs. Do you know what I mean? They went outside to go to the bathroom, but
Yeah.
they were inside dogs. And so it came time, and I thought, they don't need a rabies shot. These dogs are not
No.
outside. Do you know what I mean? Well, how are they going to do this? And one night they were crate trained, and they kept going crazy, and I kept going and hitting their cage. I'm like, what are you guys fighting about? In the middle of the night, there was a bat in their cage in the blanket, and they were trying to kill it.
Oh my God.
And I kept like stopping it.
Oh,
And because I didn't give them the rabies shots, you know, we found the bat. They had to test it. They had to be quarantined for the whole time.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
those
Which can
poor
happen.
little
Yeah.
doggies. You know,
Big
so
things.
really made me
Just-
rethink that.
and people say the same thing all the time. My dog's an indoor dog. It only goes out to go potty. It wouldn't get heartworm.
Right.
I think mosquitoes do
right.
get in the house.
Yes, I have seen them in mine.
But not
myself.
rabies. But never imagining
Yeah,
it
that's
was
pretty
a
freaky.
bat
Now,
in there.
lepto, that comes from like raccoon poop or is it urine? Okay,
Yeah,
so
wild
yeah,
animals.
so even
So
if
we
you
got
have
raccoon.
raccoons,
Your
Right.
dog, your dog goes
even
out in the
know.
backyard and drinks out of puddles.
And that's a zoonotic
Yeah.
disease that can be transmitted
Yeah.
from animals to humans.
yeah.
And I have a big dog who's now 10 that we have called Lepto his whole life because he cannot resist stagnant water. So he's always
Dogs do.
had his
The
DHLPP.
nastiest water. I don't know
And
why they
we,
go to it.
feel
as
like
soon
I'm
as we
always
see it, we
flipping
dump. But
buckets.
he
Yeah.
he's done it his entire life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Bottles.
There, you know, we've been talking pretty much about dogs. The cats, anywhere you go anymore, pretty much are second-class animals. They take a back seat to the needs of dogs in most counties. And I can drive anywhere in the city of Flint and see cats loose. So it's a big concern. There are pushes for trap neuter return.
My
And then
my
some people feed
girlfriend
'em.
in Chicago actually, so they have a program like that where they're on the street. So it's actually her job to feed the street cat, but it's on the street to help take care of the rats and stuff in Chicago. It's very interesting. So
Yep.
she's part of some program where she cares for the cat, but it comes back to her. Doesn't
Right.
live in her house or anything.
That's when are you
But it helps
supposed to
with pest
feed
control.
feral cats or not? Because
It's like a half
I-
feral cat. It's weird.
well, because there are feral cats by us. I know.
We have
that
one.
Well,
people
there's
feed.
feral cats and then there's community cats. So
Okay.
if they're community cats, then they typically, let's say this is the house or building, and you've taken these cats and you've gotten them all fixed and vaccinated. They won't roam. They're gonna stay right there.
Okay.
The University of Florida
Disney does that.
and Disney World have TNR colonies, and they're shown to work. They're healthy cats because they've been vaccinated. They don't roam and
Yeah.
poop in the neighbor's flower bed. They keep other feral cats out.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so
Just like a cat.
That's what they
community.
started
Okay.
in Chicago, but
they
they have like
they started over time dying off,
care for them.
and you add
Yeah,
to the
That's
colony.
what she does.
Okay.
I
So
thought that was very interesting.
there's just my point is the cats also need to be vaccinated.
Right.
There's
And fixed.
Yeah.
and
Big time.
fixed, they
Don't they
they-
breed like crazy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Breed like
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
cats can get pregnant while they're nursing their kittens.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Wow.
So
How long do they carry babies? Like,
62 days, I think.
so they could
62 or
get
63.
pregnant like
Yeah.
6 times
Oh, yeah.
a year?
Oh, I had no
Oh,
idea.
oh, yeah.
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 Oh, that is crazy.
It's like rabbits. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
So,
Dogs
like
only-
elephant. Is that elephant like 2 years? Or
Yeah.
something? Just crazy. I can't imagine me breaking for 2 years. Random fact. Elephant.
I would not want to be an elephant. Sorry.
I never thought the other on 62 days. I have like 140 kids.
what are you telling us about yourself?
Yeah, the dynamics of the pyramid and everything, like with one unfixed animal or cat, like that one, the kittens, then the kittens of that one,
Oh, I
and
didn't
the
even
kittens
think
of
about
that
that.
one,
Oh,
and on and on.
I can't even imagine.
It could become,
thousands.
yeah, you wind up
Well, it's
with,
100.
But we do. So we do have a
awesome.
big check for you guys.
Oh,
So it
my
is
gosh.
$4,300 that you guys raised to
Thank
help
you all.
Street Hearts.
Thank you.
And they're very near and dear to my heart. And I
Thank
know,
you
you know,
so
we
much.
just all love animals, and I hope this can go to good use.
Well, it's so
That at the
bad.
bank, your giant check.
Yeah, good with a giant check to the bank. But
Thank you.
oh, you're welcome.
thank you so very much.
Well, we
for all of us.
appreciate all you guys do. I mean, all the time and
So-
effort and the heartache, right, that you guys go through is much appreciated. I know when you guys don't feel like it is, I know that we appreciate your efforts
And-
greatly.
People like you that recognize us truly keep us going
Yeah.
because we get really low sometimes.
Oh, I bet.
So,
I
so
bet.
Thank
since we broached the subject, let me kind of explain. If we get a dog in off the streets that appears to be reasonably healthy, the cost to get that dog to where it's adoptable, it's I think $198 right now.
Well,
Minimally.
like 200. The basics
up?
is like $210.
Okay. Now that's just
not
for,
feeding, heartworm prevention.
And
Right.
that's just a
Worming.
how, yeah.
That's just the
Because
bedding
this can be
itself.
one dog if it
We-
has serious medical.
we microchip
Oh,
the dogs
definitely.
ourselves. So the basic without, if they don't have an ear infection, if they don't have
Heartworm.
skin problems, the basic is $210, and our adoption fees $250 to the top is like $400. Okay, so we have dogs where they've gone in. It's cost $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 for care of the dog.
Sure. And the adoption fee is still
So
so.
Yeah.
it's hard to keep up on those big expenses with just that margin that we get out of a healthy dog. So this definitely.
No, we
we-
appreciate it, and you can go to that link and donate to them if your heart leads you to do that. And we will put the Amazon wish list too on there so that you guys can buy them stuff that they need. And of course, you know, this is in Flint, Michigan. We know you guys are from all over, and it sounds like a lot of you probably are doing, you know, wonderful things with your local organizations as well. We really appreciate, because the animals, they really do need you, and they don't really have a lot of advocates, and the advocates they have, their hands are really full. So we need to help out any way we can. We appreciate you guys. Have a great Wednesday, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Thank you all.